Mr. Spivak now.
King Peter, do you think that the people of Yugoslavia are far enough advanced politically for a really democratic regime?
Yes, I definitely do.
And do you think that the reestablishment of the kingship is more democratic, for example, than the reestablishment of a democracy such as ours in this day and age?
I would base a democracy on a compromise between your kind of democracy and the democracy you have in the British Empire.
I don't mean this to be an embarrassing question, but what useful purpose at a time like this can a kingship serve that a presidency, for example, couldn't? Why should anybody in this day and age be permitted to pass on his crown to somebody else who may be less able than he is? Unless it's just going to be a figurehead, the way more or less the English kingship is.
That's my way of thinking of it. Actually, you just said it.
You think the kingship should be more or less of a figurehead?
Yes, more or less of a figurehead and a protector.
Now, as we've talked to you tonight and as we've listened to you, we don't get the idea that you're the kind who would be a figurehead. You sound much too smart for that. Would you be satisfied to go back and just be the figurehead in your own country?
Yes.
Mr. Fielding.
I'm just wondering if the King of England is a figurehead or if he's more than a figurehead. I mean, isn't he actually a rallying point?
The rallying point. That's the most important thing.
Mr. Davis. Mr. Raskin, I'll be back here in a moment.
A bit ago, you thought that perhaps Moscow would move in. And
yes.
Did you mean an armed conflict?
No.
Move in?
Not necessarily an armed conflict. It could be armed. But they can move in without an armed conflict.
You mean come in as they did in Poland, for instance?
Yes. They came as they came in Czechoslovakia.
Hmm. Do you see any signs of revolution in your own country right now? Is there any hint of that?
No.
No armed revolution at all?
No, certainly not.
Now, Mr. Raskin.
King Peter, I was thinking back to those unhappy days, at least unhappy for you, of early 1945 when considerable pressure was being exerted on you to set up a regency in your country.
Yes.
And you finally did succumb to that pressure and agreed. The regency was set up and it functioned for several months, and finally you returned to London and issued a very bitter statement to the effect that this regency was in fact a servant of the Soviet, that that was not considered discreet at the time. What you said was that it had become very totalitarian, undemocratic, that you could no longer support it. Now, I wondered why in your role
It did not fulfill its constitutional duties.